What's up, everybody? Schmitty in the city alongside Christian Uncouth in the South. We're skaters on baseball here.
That's right. That's right. And we've got a little vitriol, maybe not quite as much as going on in our counterparts world, but yeah, FTD, man.
I gotta tell you, I woke up this morning and let me just tell you, first of all, I've been sick for like a week. I don't know if Glenn's back in town and he brought the Toronto virus with him or what, but I've been sick, man. But today I'm even sicker because I woke up to this news of Tanner Scott being signed to the Dodgers. And none of these things, like I was thinking about the other night when everyone's screaming and crying about Sasaki, right? It's like we knew Sasaki wasn't going to go to the Giants, but yet everyone was waiting for that moment to explode. And to me, it's not the moment, but it's the moments all combined. It's just the abundance. It's the gross wealth being just thrown out there, whether it's Magic Johnson or whoever is deciding all this crap. But I gotta be honest, man. Ohtani might just be the culprit that's ruining baseball.
It's quite possible. It's quite possible. I mean, there's definitely he makes too much money, in my opinion, for being a DH and potentially maybe a pitcher again, which I highly doubt. At least for sure a starter, he's not going to be. And he's attracting, by all appearances, the other Japanese pseudo stars coming out of the Japanese league to come to the major leagues. I mean, Yamamoto, I think, was kind of a partial dud. Sasaki, we don't know what he's going to be, but just that idea that they have that kind of clout in a foreign marketplace now with anybody that's good in Japan that they want to get, they've got the inside track on it. So, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, oh man, I got so much. I'm angry. I'm very frustrated. And there's so much on my plate that I don't know where to start with, but we'll just stick with this Dodger ruining baseball theme for now and Ohtani. The thing to me is like, why wasn't any of this happening in Anaheim? Like he makes more money in endorsements than anyone. So if you look at Juan Soto's contract, not one penny is deferred. If you look at like Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, anybody else, the top dogs in baseball, they don't make the type of endorsement money than Ohtani does. He's kind of like, what do you call him? An anomaly, I guess.
Right.
So he's able, everybody's like, why doesn't everybody defer? Well, the reason everyone doesn't defer is because the player has to agree on deferring and they need to have enough money that they can defer the money. So right. Ohtani has this ePay bank over here, right? That he never got busted for. Who knows how much money they made on gambling, right? And then all this endorsement money on top of it. And then his wife's a pro athlete too. So they got plenty of money. Top dogs, like anything you need. Ohtani's giving money left and right to the Fires, whatever you need, right? It's like this guy is a different breed than any other baseball player. So right. That's why. Do you think Mike Yastrzemski can defer 90% of his contract? No, that's not happening. So that's why people can't defer money. So that's in a long sentence why I'm saying Ohtani's ruining baseball. And for anybody that's upset about this, when MLB finally gets rid of their idiot with his head in the sand and finally, I mean, the only way to save this game is to have a salary cap and to get rid of deferring or put a cap on deferring or whatever to make this more even spread for everyone, because Ohtani and the Dodgers have abused the system.
Right. Well, the parity has become disparity. And
what's up, babe?
What was it? I looked it up. So Ohtani deferred $680 million of his $700 million contract. His New Balance endorsement alone is worth $68 million a year. So what Yeah, he could defer his entire Dodgers salary if he wanted to. I mean, he's basically floating around 90% being backloaded. And the Dodgers, I think are claiming that they can actually afford to pay it off. We'll see. But yeah, the league, Manfred has got his head up his ass. I think that they need to look at either doing something about the competitive balance tax and actually increasing the penalties, although they do get pretty stiff in the third year. It's up to 50%. But yeah, it's just I think it is kind of ruining baseball. I don't know that necessarily ruined it last season. This season could be a different story. It could be really ugly. The Dodgers have gone out and they've taken on all of the major talent that was out there almost. And nobody can spend like that. And they may not even want to spend like that, even if they can defer money. I mean, like you said, Greg, that the player has to agree to it. And some players who aren't making that kind of money say, like, no, I need my money, man. I got a family, right? So it's gross. I mean, I thought we were going to get on here and just go full blown Dodgers for an hour. I don't know if I could take it.
Yeah, I mean, the funny part to me is like I'm almost just like I can't even look at baseball talk anymore. The way people are reacting to just like stuff that I'm looking at and we're thinking of it so differently. It's insane to me. I can't understand how people are like, well, you guys used to complain about us being the Mickey Mouse team, and now you're upset that we're ruining baseball. It's like nobody complained you were the Mickey Mouse team. People were just saying you couldn't win the big game, which you couldn't, but you were still spending tons and tons of money. And Morkatna, I got to be honest with you. I don't know where you're coming at with this whole comment here, but I'll tell you this. Mission Rock might be bringing in money, but that still doesn't mean we can defer it. Deferring and being rich are two different things. So don't get that confused. Don't get it twisted. If the owners have a lot of money, they still can't offer the defer. I mean, they can offer the deferring, but the player has to accept it. And that's where the Giants don't have an Ohtani, you know? I don't think even Jung-Hoo Lee is going to be like, sure, 90% of my salary, defer it so we can bring in Ha-Seong Kim. Like, that's not happening here. Yeah. And that's on the players, but mostly it's on Ohtani because no one else is like him.
Yeah. Well, and it's almost like the Dodgers are playing a tilted version of some fantasy league, right? I mean, it's like, yeah, I was able to go in and just get, handpick all these choices for my fantasy league team, and now I'm going to smoke everybody, and I'm going to take home the $150 when it's all said and done. But you know what? Fuck you. Okay, it's just what you say something like the MLB, the show won't even allow you to put together a team like this in the video game. Is that for real? Oh, you froze up, Schmitty. Damn.
Yeah. Hey, babe, can you turn off the Wi-Fi, please?
My Wi-Fi?
Yeah, maybe we have too much Wi-Fi going on. We're going mental on spring cleaning and stuff. Are we back?
Yeah.
Test 1, 2. What did you say? I'm sorry, I missed that.
So you were saying something about the video game. The show won't even allow you to put together a team like this. Is that for real?
Yeah, you can't even put this many stars onto a non-all-star team in a video game. Like, and I was thinking about this. Like, you got a 40-man roster. When's the point where the team that DFAs a guy that's better than your entire squad? Like the Dodgers DFA a guy that's better than anyone on the White Sox. Like, that's going to happen pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, at least it gives some other team an opportunity to have a higher caliber player than they might already have.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready for the surprise, or do you want the surprise later?
Let's do it a little later. Let's stay on this. Let's keep talking about
money. This is the surprise. Is my idea for this whole what would you call it? Protest. My protest idea.
Well, I think we're going to have to figure out, I think we're going to have to find out more about exactly what's sort of driving this. Is it just the Dodgers driving it, or is there something going on with the MLB Players Association that's they're trying to push players towards these kind of deals? I don't know. I think it's just the Dodgers, but and Scott Boras and other agents, but who knows?
I mean, not to get too far off topic, but Scott Boras, I got a bone to pick with him too, because I just read this morning that he was 100% the reason that Corbin Burns went to Arizona. In the wee hours of developing, he calls Arizona's owner and pleads with him to see if they can match something that they got in the works, because he wants his client to be at home with his kids and wife after he spent an afternoon seeing how wonderful he was with his kids and all this whatever. Boras is right. Okay, so we got the Mount Rushmore of ruin, and so far we got Ohtani and we got Boras on there, and I might throw the commissioner on there too. We got three.
Oh yeah, he's got to be on the bonfire as well. I mean,
yeah.
This golden at bat idea that he was talking about, and some of these other things that they've already changed in the game. It's just like, I don't know how old he is, but retirement would be a good move for Bob Manfred in about the next 2 seasons max. I would like to see some fresh blood in there. So, anyways, yeah,
Oh, we got the Dodger fans coming in. There they are.
BC's back. Oh, it's back-to-back trophies. Okay.
Here we go. Back to back.
I do want to talk a little bit just about money in general and go down the list that I compiled of where the teams that made the 2024 postseason are at in terms of their spending. Okay. So we'll start from the top and go to the bottom. The Mets, first in spending. Dodgers, second in spending. Phillies, who got knocked out unceremoniously, third in spending. Yankees, fourth in spending. Houston, fifth in spending. Okay. From there, there's a little bit of a drop off. You go to the Braves at eighth. You go to the Padres at ninth. And then we're talking Royals 20th, Baltimore 15th, Guardians 25th, Brewers 21st. So it's almost like a 50-50 split between teams that spent the most money and teams who spent tiny bit of middle money, but mostly lower tier money. So that being said, money doesn't always win championships. And we know with baseball, sometimes a team ethos is more valuable than just the name on the back of the jersey. So, I mean, we can get all down with it and we can go like, fuck, the Dodgers are just going to take over and just run the whole league for the next 5 or 6 years. I don't necessarily think that's going to happen. And, you can't base what you're going to do on what they do. You got to do what you're going to do. They're going to do what they're going to do. You can't change it.
Thank you. That's, that's my next point. I mean, we'll get into that a little later, but the response of Giants fans has kind of made me sick lately, just about how much griping is going on and how much negative Nancy doom and gloom and all that shit. Because I'll tell you this, I love being the underdog.
Yeah.
Bring it. It's like you win 1 out of 3 when you're not supposed to win any. You won.
Right.
Right. And there's plenty of teams left besides one team. So
sure.
And they're just one Tommy John and a glass arm away from not really having the pitching staff they thought they were. We'll just see what happens.
Tyler Glassarm, is that who we're talking about now?
Glass arms back, and Kershaw jerseys. They're trying to get the ashes out of the garbage cans and like re-sew them together. We love Kershaw after they burned his jersey. We saw it, and I got the video to prove it, guys.
He's done. Oh, yeah. Okay, bring it on. What do you got?
All right, so here's my protest, right? Every team outside the Dodgers no one sells tickets to Dodger away games this whole year.
That'd be good.
And they treat it like the COVID. Every stadium, you can't buy them if you're a Dodger fan. You can't buy them if you're a Giant fan. no tickets, and every game is zero audience, and it's fuck you. We don't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with that. I mean, just like in the playoffs, and the Padres tried to limit or shut down Dodger fans buying the tickets, you know. And then you had a bunch of like Dodger fans in San Diego saying, "Oh, I'll go buy the tickets for you," you know. But I don't care. I mean, it's what your fans aren't playing, you know.
Well, so that's where I switch gears, right? Because that's about as much as I can talk about a team that stadium is probably, I don't think that's even rebuilt yet. I think they've been like tearing
No,
that.
they're spending more than Ohtani's salary, I think, on retrofitting it yet
Yeah.
again. And they just did a remodel not that long ago.
It's funny, the Red Sox and Cubs don't have to do as much work as Chavez Ravine does for whatever reason.
No.
But let's talk about the Giants, because that's what we're all about. We're Giants fans, and it's cute that the Dodger fans don't have anywhere to go and they want to come on. That's fine. Bring it. We love you guys, man. It's just baseball. And this is the important thing that I think everyone needs to put in the back of their mind, that baseball is about to happen. And that is exciting. You can't act like it's 10 games left in the season and you're 30 out before spring training. This mentality of like, oh my God, I can't believe they got Verlander. Where? And yeah, Adames was fine, but like, what's their gonna? It's like, holy shit, man. And Buster Posey's been in office for 3 months and you want to get rid of him already? The season has not started. You need to be fired up for baseball. If you're a fan, you're a fan. If you're not a fan, go watch the Super Bowl. Bye.
Yeah. And I'm, I mean, this may sound silly, but I'm more excited for spring training this year than I think I've been in quite a while. I think anybody who's discounting the Adames signing out there, the Giants have not had a shortstop who's this well-rounded in decades. Okay. I mean, Crawford was one of the best defensively to ever play the game. His hitting was, off and on, hot and cold. He'd have one great season and the next one would be mediocre. You get Adames, who's pretty much been a sound hitter his whole career, right? So I don't let Verlander tip the scales in the opposite direction, people. Let's not go there.
I mean, is there a over under on how many innings Verlander's going to pitch? And then what's that number compared to the over under on how many innings Ohtani's going to pitch? I don't think it's that different to me. I wouldn't bet on Ohtani pitching more than Verlander. I wouldn't. And I don't know that Birdsong's any worse than Sasaki. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they have so many choices now to go from for the rotation, mostly all young guys, but there's a lot of flexibility there. It's going to be interesting when we get to spring training to see what these guys' starts are like, and how it's progressing and what they're looking at and who they're going to pick for opening day. I mean, we know Webb's probably going to throw the opener, right? But I mean, I'm talking about what the rotation looks like opening day. So it's good. Baseball is closer than it was a week ago or a month ago. It's coming up, and I think they stream a lot of the spring training games through the Giants website. So I'm gonna be watching, and definitely listening if I'm not watching.
Well, I wonder, like, the reaction about the Giants keeping up with the Dodgers versus the reaction of what the Giants have actually done and what they're doing and what their plan is.
Yeah.
I think those are two different things. And I think that if the Dodgers were like in the American League Central, what are your thoughts now? If it's the Giants, Diamondbacks, Padres, Rockies, and maybe the Mariners or the A's or something, like, now all of a sudden the division looks pretty close, and I don't know what's going to happen, right? And so just because one juggernaut has gone, and they happen to be in our division, it's the same effect for all the other teams.
Sure. And it's, I mean, I don't know. On paper, it just looks ugly, and the internet, you wake up every day, it just sucks. But I actually think things are going to be a little tighter than everybody thinks. I do.
I think Dodgers could win 120 games.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, look, they're probably going to run away with the division, and that's not what you're playing for. So you act accordingly. I think the most important thing is, like, now that we have all this, the balanced schedule, you're not going to be playing them all that much, and you're not going to be playing all your division rivals all that much. You're going to be playing the entire league. So it's looking about, how you match up against every other team out of the 30 instead of just the guys in your division. I mean, I'll be honest, I hate the balanced schedule. I wish there were more division rivalry games than there are, but it kind of opens up your opportunity to find your wins on the road or find your wins at home against teams that you're only going to see one time, right? So you sort of plan more strategically around that. I mean, that's what I'd be looking at if I was involved in it anyway.
Yeah. I love this. Sour vanilla shit is ridiculous. What's up, George and Senior had I haven't been more excited about a season than this one, but I think I know why, because he lives in Sacramento.
Yeah. That is going to be exciting.
I mean, yeah, sure. I'm excited for you. And Senior, I told you on the chat the other night, I'm looking forward to you starting an athletics show. I'd love to come on and talk athletics with you and maybe come up and join you for a game in Sac. I'm not afraid. I think that Brent Rooker on social media has just been doing everything the best he could. Like, he's interacting with the fans, asking about what restaurants to eat at. He's just stoked to be in Sac. Like, he's bringing this really good attitude, right? And I think a lot of people could learn from him.
Sure.
Like, let's just play ball, man. This is what we've all been waiting for, is opening day for 162 games. You lose today, guess what? There's another game tomorrow. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, let's get hyped. And speaking of the A's, number one, I ran into Steve O'Brockway at the Vans pool party yesterday, and he said Sac is buzzing. People are all excited for the A's to be there. They've been sprucing up that side of town. They've been getting the stadium ready. They yanked up all the artificial turf, replaced it with grass. They got the bleachers going in. And now I saw something, I don't know how much weight to put in it, but there is actually the potential that the A's might never make it as far as Vegas.
I'm hearing that too.
Staying in Sacto, which means a new stadium in Sacramento at some point, most likely, because they're not going to be staying in Rivercat Stadium.
You know what that also means? Extending Bart to Sacramento. Let's go. The Bullet Bart? Are you kidding me? I'm down.
Yeah, because there's nothing better than sitting in bum puke on a BART train going to a baseball game.
I'm not scared. I want to fucking go, man. You get the designated driver, Mr. Bart.
Yep. All right, hell of this, hell of that. Yeah, the Alonso
let's
static
talk about
out
Pete.
there. I mean, it's now they're starting to throw around that stuff like, oh, Alonso could be headed for the Giants. And I can't put a lot of stock in it, only because of the media on the Corbin Burns topic, which was all Giants oriented, and then whoop, didn't happen. So we can hope for it. I mean, at this point, I wasn't too high on Alonso until the Dodgers suddenly started signing everybody in sight, and the free agent market quickly got pared down, a whole bunch of signings. And that first base situation in San Francisco, we're depending on two guys with questionable legs to get it done all year at first base. Alonso might not be such a bad signing. And like we talked about before many times, is that Eldridge gets to spend an entire year in AAA honing his craft, getting experience, getting kind of comfortable and confident. Alonso plays first. The following year, Alonso flies over to DH, and we got Bryce Eldridge at first. So I'm good with it,
Yeah, I'm curious because I'm not sure. I mean, we don't know how Buster thinks, but from what I'm guessing, the two drafts could be the most pivotal part of that whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
Losing the two drafts again after we're losing two to Adames. I don't know, but it's interesting, right? Because there's so many people saying, just kill the team and rebuild, trade Webb, do this. Why'd you get Adames and Chapman if blah, blah, blah? And it's like, either way, they're going to struggle. Well, why not have some good players? I don't understand getting rid of Webb, who's the iconic, the epitome of a San Francisco Giant, somebody that's kind of been passed the torch and played with some of the old guys, understands what the history and the vibe of the team should be. It's just, for me, there's no rebuild. There's no like, let's just throw everyone in the water and start over. I can go to San Jose if I want to see that. The San Jose Giants are right down the road, single A baseball. That's, if you're into that, you get your beer batter on Tuesday night and you cheap ball game. Good for you. I want to, if I'm going to the big yard, I want to see the big dogs.
Yeah. Well, and people are saying, we'll strip it down and rebuild it. Well, they kind of did. Getting rid of Farhan was a piece of that puzzle in a semi rebuild. Okay. Not going out and, basically kind of sticking with your young pitchers to see what they can be. That's kind of a rebuild thing. And look at the outfield. It's Jung-Hoo Lee, and the rest has all been built up around him. Ramos, and then the young guys are going to be battling for the other spots. It's going to be Matos, it's going to be McRae. That's kind of rebuildish too, right? Those guys are they're fresh. They're still wet behind the ears. And so it's, to do an entire rebuild at this point doesn't make any sense, because you got the Chapman deal and the Adames deal, and you got a lot of pitching that's there that you can pick and choose from. And I think now it's just looking for a good trade deal if you can get it, and then just waiting for the free agent market next year and sort of letting this season play out, And I think, Buster, having played some first base in his time, he probably knows better what he's looking for than we do, right?
You think?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just possibly. Well, look at this. Hell of this, hell of that. I love where this guy's coming from. His other comment, I'm hoping Eric jumps in at some point tonight. And so I'm going to wait to talk about that later so he can defend himself. But got to draft right. Giants' track record of drafting is the shits. This has been a huge talking point lately. Guess what, guys? Farhan got fired. There's a new POBO. Why? Because of this reason.
Yep.
It's not even a year in, and we don't have to remind ourselves why we're starting fresh with Buster. But we have to have patience and understand it doesn't happen with a switch. Randy Wynn's involved. There's some new development down there. Minor's coming up to the Giants, so I don't know who's replacing him in AAA, but there will be some moves. The guy that they just got, what's his name, down in the Dominican?
Joshua.
He's supposed to be like the next coming of Luciano, for all we know. I mean, come on, guys.
Well, hopefully he's not. Hopefully he's not that. But yeah, he could be maybe even an Arias type player. So we don't know yet, but it sounds like if they were excited enough that Adames went down there to welcome him to the team and all of that, that it's got to be pretty good, What's this? Red Sox offered Tanner Scott more money?
I don't know if that's true, but if I'm a player right now, I probably want to win. It's kind of an easy decision if you want to win. Like, it's kind of a weak decision. I think Sasaki is weak sauce, and I think that, like, from everything he was described by, it doesn't mesh with what he's doing. So we don't know. All we hear is writers and rumors. Like, we don't have 100% knowledge of these ideals. But if the guy doesn't want a big market team, if he's really nervous of the critique and the criticism and the bigness of a big city, I don't think LA is actually the opposite. I don't think that's where he wants to be. But I do think he just went where he's comfortable. Ohtani and Yamamoto are there. They're friends, and they can all speak Japanese to each other, which is very helpful in a new country for somebody that's coming to the major leagues for his first time. And then guess what? They won the World Series last year, and they got all this money deferred. So once his minor league contract can be taken off the books, he's going to get a huge bump. He knows that.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know any of these people personally, but I would assume some of these people that have signed with the Dodgers saw what they did last year, saw an opportunity to get a ring, play with a winner, all that stuff. Blake Snell certainly felt like that when he signed with them. And hey, more power to you. You want to sell out just for a championship ring, whatever, okay, it's not going to make your chances any better for the Hall of Fame. You know that. I mean, you're going to have to perform to get into the Hall. And I think some of these guys are straight up cowards, because if you sign in a town like Philly, St. Louis, Boston, even New York, you're not up to the task. The fans are going to let you know, and they're going to let you know in a particularly nasty way. Dodgers fans are kind of complacent, right? They did.
Yeah, they're not even there for the first 3 innings.
Yeah, the traffic keeps people from getting there before the first pitch, and then it's, aside from that little incident with the burning of the Kershaw jerseys, I mean, how many times have the Dodgers truly wanted to run somebody out of town? I can think of maybe one other instance when Kenley Jansen was really screwing the pooch in a couple of late inning, blown saves where people really got on him. But I mean, it's generally not like that. And some of these other cities, man, watch out if you go there. And I think guys are afraid of that a little bit.
Yeah, I just think it's so funny. Nando wants to get political and talk about woke and this and that. I guess you're excited for tomorrow, and that's great. The funny part is this one, though. You're telling me it's weak that you want to go play with your friends on a good team and organization. Yeah, it's weak. You're not playing baseball as a professional to go hang out with your friends. This is pro sports, and you're trying to define who you are as an athlete, not ride on the coattails of some friends from, wherever, so that's what I would say to that, Nando. So take that, buddy.
Yeah.
But I love that you're here, man, because this is what we do. We've talked back and forth.
Remember all the Soto talk that was going on before he signed? And it was like, the whole debate was whether he just wanted the money, so it didn't matter where he went, or if he wanted to be the guy wherever he went. In other words, he didn't want to be in Aaron Judge's shadow, therefore Yankees, he's not going there, right? He ends up with the Mets, where he's kind of the guy now, right? So any of these guys going to the Dodgers think they're going to be the guy. Well, they already got the guys. They have several of the guys. So you're not going to be the guy if you sign with the Dodgers. Sorry, Am I right? I don't know. I mean, shit.
Yeah, I'm just laughing at these comments.
Well, he's kind of right. I mean, didn't they have the weird gay nun bashers out there one day this year and did this whole really sort of derogatory take on Christians and people who just have different values?
The Dodgers declined, I think, the trans day or whatever it was that they had, and that was very controversial apparently. But I don't know. I don't pay attention to Chavez Ravine. I don't ever want to go there. Too many people have gotten beat up for trying to watch a baseball game, and I don't support that in anywhere.
Yeah. It's not a good scene. I always come back to this in moments of depression and despair over there not being baseball this time of year. But keep your fucking politics out of my baseball. I want baseball. I don't want any of this. We've got to do this and do that and have an agenda and this, that, and the other thing. It's baseball. Stand for the anthem. Do it right. That's it. It's baseball.
100%. I mean, that's why we watch baseball. A huge part of it is to escape, whether it's escape from your family problems, your issues at work, or politics. All that stuff is put aside, and you can kind of just enjoy, if you're whatever your cold drink of choice is, some peanuts and some 9 innings of baseball. That's what it is. So with the politics, please. Thank you.
So here's what I want to know. Is anybody out there in the chat tuned into what the latest is in San Diego. I haven't really been paying much attention the last couple of days, but the last I heard was it was about to get real ugly.
I think I don't know, but my guess is that they're about to have a little bit of a fire sale because there's some internal issues going down there. And I think they were banking on getting Sasaki. But from what I heard, Cease is available for trade. Arias is available, that they're trying to cut some of the high salaries. But again, we don't know. We just read these guys that want to click on their Twitter account so they get more whatevers. But I don't doubt that the Giants end up above the Padres at the end of the year.
I think there's a good chance of that. And I got to just bring this up for 1 second. Yeah. You know, the Dodgers pushed Mongo, actually.
Oh my God. Nando 390.
Yeah. But I got to get back to this. Liam, yes, ball is life. Definitely, man. That's the vibe that we want.
100%.
It's man. Yeah, we're struggling without ball right now.
Who's PS's wife? PS's wife is fucking it up. Boom. I feel bad for Darvish. Poor guy said he was going to cry if Sasaki went to Dodgers in an interview. If Padres sell, I want Darvish. I didn't hear that, Morcana, but I like the info.
Darvish is intriguing. He's had a little bit of a resurgence the last 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. He's looked like the Darvish of old, right?
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Dodgers are satanic.
There we go.
Ladies of
that's what. Yeah, that's.
Thanks, babe. Yeah,
they're nuts.
The ladies of perpetual indulgence.
Yeah. Well, we had a rad show with Eric last week. That was a lot of fun, and those guys have been going real dark lately, right?
I'm worried about these guys, and I don't know if Glenn's back. If he is, he's about 4 floors up from me. But I think we might need to go in and have an intervention, because these guys are almost just saying they're not fans at this point. And I'm like, wait, time out, guys. It's not that bad. You're going to be okay. I promise. And Glenn last night was saying, looks like I'm going to be on their show next. And I'll tell you, I'm going to scream and yell at somebody.
Well, I think our little group therapy session worked well with Eric, because we got his more positive vibe out of him. And he got riled up, man. He was excited about some of the stuff we were talking about. So, I've been trying to get on your page a little bit and be a little more optimistic. I don't know if you noticed, but the last couple
I have, and I'm impressed.
I'm looking for the positive in all of this, and you could look at it one way and say, oh, really? It's really not much. But on the other hand, like, I'm excited for what they're going to do. And I think that the Verlander thing is just kind of an anomaly that they went with, because it gives them almost as much value off field as it does on, if he's mentoring these young guys. I mean, he's probably not even going to get to 20 starts this year, but I was watching a few highlights from last season, and he was pitching pretty damn good, I must say. A lot of strikeouts, he's still throwing 95. That's not bad.
Yeah, and after listening to his interview, I got some confidence that this guy really wants to bounce back and prove people wrong. He's a fucking competitor, man, and he's a Hall of Famer first ballot. He's not going to set himself up for the Mike Tyson. Like, he does not want to go out that way, So I think he wants to go out on top. He wants to try to get 300 wins. He thinks he can do it. Who are we to tell him he can't? Right. Let's see what happens, And like I said, are you willing to bet that Ohtani's going to throw more innings in games than Verlander? Because from what I hear, the Dodgers are already calling it a 6-man rotation. The Giants have not said anything like that.
Yep. Yeah. So I it's a 1-year investment. It's not like the end of the world, and it's not going to be something that sticks around like Barry Zito for 7 years, right? So we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
There we go. I like that. So let's get into this for a second. So I'm with you on this. Wilmer Flores, to me, yes, he's given us some great moments as a Giant. Always liked the guy as a person, his personality, and he's sort of like very low key, seems like a really good team guy. But I think he's done. I do think he's done. After the year he had last year, it's kind of like Tyro Estrada. It's like, what happened, man? And I mean, yeah, we know Wilmer's legs are shot, so he's getting up there in age. But I'm with you. I kind of feel like if there's a way to unload him somehow, make space for somebody else, it would be a pretty valuable move. Wade, on the other hand, I'm a little longer on Wade. Number one, he's my guy. I'm a little biased, but I keep going back to that on base and average last year and all that. So, yeah.
I haven't heard that one before. Sour Vanilla, you get the comment of the day, I think. Shohei Ohtani John.
Yeah.
Three-peat. What's going to happen? Is Ohtani going to have more Tommy Johns than World Series wins?
Well, he had his second one last year. That was the second one?
No, first.
Okay.
Oh, second Tommy John, yes.
Yeah, second Tommy John. That's what I'm talking
first about. World Series. So he has more Tommy Johns than World Series.
Yeah, that's right. and he was
and he's the best player in baseball. So there you go.
I don't know about that.
I don't either. It's just what they say, and it's just like MLB says, all this Dodger stuff, it's good for baseball. Who knows?
I don't know. I guess it's good for baseball if you want Dodgers fans to watch every game and nobody else to watch them. I mean, I guess that'll do it. So
yeah, and I'll tell you something else you might not have heard about because you're down south, but Comcast just really did something interesting, and that was bump so CSNBC Sports Bay Area, which is the TV channel that covers the A's, the Giants, the Kings, the Warriors, and the Sharks, right?
They do the Niners too?
No, Niners is local, like CBS or Fox. Like, football is a whole different beast. But so they own the rights to those games. Right. If you're a basketball, hockey, or baseball fan in the Bay Area, you need CSNBC Sports Bay Area, or you're not watching them on TV. You can't even get it with the MLB app, like local games, they black out, whatever. Yeah. So Comcast bumped that channel. The only way you can get that channel now is they put it in the elite package, which is $170 a month or something, because you have to get like the voila. Even if all you want is that one channel, you still have to pay that money. So first day that news came out, bye Felicia, straight to YouTube TV. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
They have
that's like the Spectrum deal down here, where it's like if you have any cable provider other than Spectrum, no Dodgers for you.
Okay. Before he leaves, are we sure Eric's in the hizzy?
I see that he's been hailed.
I have been hailed. Eric, I love you. But bro, did you hear the news? 20 kids dropped out of school yesterday because they saw Chapman drink a beer at FanFest. Come on, man. Did you think about that overnight and figure out you want to retract your statement? That was insane.
As long as it was a real man's beer, like Coors Light or a Budweiser or something like that, great. If it was one of these strange Sonoma County, it's got elderberries and eucalyptus bark notes, don't be drinking that beer, Matt. Yeah.
Okay, time and place, right? The time, FanFest. Baseball is back. Let's celebrate, right? The place, Napa wine country. Beer Gardens was hosting it. Brian Murphy is at fault if you want to blame anyone. He's hosting a Q&A. He challenges everyone to a beer chug contest which he looked as an Irishman, I'd be super bummed on this guy. He might still be drinking his beer. Dude, it didn't phase anyone though. No one's like, oh my God, he chugged a beer. Like, it's like, beer is legal. It's not like fentanyl where dudes are just sleeping on streets and stuff. I gotta be honest, that one kind of threw me for a loop.
Well,
we're gonna agree to disagree, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, nobody seemed to have too much problem with a certain left-hander gorilla gripping 5 beers at once and just pouring them down his gullet a few years back. Am I right? It wasn't at FanFest.
Bumgarner did 3. Well, Eric's point, to be fair, Eric was saying, look, the kids are coming out to watch these guys. They're in uniform. It's a bad look for the team because the kids are looking up to you and you're promoting drinking, right?
Yeah.
I see what he's saying, but to me, what really hit me like a ton of bricks is just the constant, and not from Eric, but the constant Chapman beating. This guy has done nothing but be a stand-up San Franciscan, a San Francisco Giant, and a team player. Hey, bro, we might get Ha-Seong Kim. Would you mind playing shortstop until he's healed? No problem. Whatever you want me to do, I'm here to help. I want us to win. I don't understand the Chapman hate, man. It just drives me crazy. I'm starting a Chapman fan club. He's like the Woodward counselor of infielders.
Oh, man,
wow.
comparing Matt Chapman to Neil Hendricks and
that does
Braille
not sound
skateboards.
Good. That's mean. That's not.
Am I swaying in the wind a little bit? No.
I'll just tell you this. Yeah, a lot of people agree with Eric. Paul too, and I think Paul might be a Dodger fan. So that's great.
I will say, like, yeah, doing stuff like that in front of kids probably not the smartest move, but I don't know the times. We're old, right? So we could kind of look at it as like, oh, don't do that in front of kids. But the world is different now, man. People just, they're so permissive about everything. It seems like a strange thing for people to get ultra bent about now. You know, people are smoking weed with their kids when they're 12 years old now. Why? So that's my take. I don't want to argue with anybody. I think the point's valid. You know?
I don't want to argue with anyone either, except for I want to argue because I'm so angry about the Dodgers. So anything that is taken wrong, just blame the Dodgers because they pissed me off. And I'm here to defend my team. I'm a fan of the San Francisco Giants, even if we're 20 and 142 or whatever. Absolutely. I'm a fan. I'm cursed, black and orange till I die. I'm never going to give up on our team. Like, I love it. Bring it. I want to see baseball. I want to see my team play baseball. So I'll be at like 55, 60 games no matter what this year, whether they're winning 12 in a row or if they lose 12 in a row. I'm still out there because that's how I roll. But I get it. Not everybody's into that, and they'd rather sit on their couch and get disgruntled and watch TV and talk about how they would have done it differently. And God damn it, Bob Melvin's such a bad manager. I'm better than him and all that crap. Just enjoy the game or go watch the Super Bowl. That's my recommendation for anybody out there that's got so much like pent upness towards it all.
Yeah. Is this the first time we've had Ibrahim in here?
I don't think so, but
Ibrahim's got great takes.
I love
great takes, and on Eric and Glenn's show.
Yeah,
definitely. So Ibrahim, welcome. Thank you for showing up, man. And that comment was on point. Yeah. Chapman's
man.
Great,
I think we got like 37 in there tonight. Might be a new record for the SOBers.
Yeah.
But listen, if anybody's into Matt Chapman, even a little bit, I'm starting a Matt Chapman fan club, and you don't know what's coming, but hashtag Matt Chapman rules. I don't care what. Let's go. Richard, you make me a song. Like, let's get it going.
Yeah. I like this. Yeah, Paul. This is the first time on the pod I haven't been wearing a hat because I got this haircut that's kind of uncomfortable with the cap on, you know.
Ooh, Mohawkian.
Yeah, I had to bring it back for a little bit, you know. Season's
yeah.
right around the corner. I like this too. Like Liam, you're out in Colorado. Awesome, man. I like that.
I might be going to Giants Rockies game out there this year. We're on the fence about spending a little money and splurging. So if we do that, we should link up. The wife and I want to go check out this concert at the Red Rock spot, which is pretty close to there. And so we could do a 1-2 punch, hit a Giants Rockies game. I've never been to Coors Field, but I have definitely been to Denver and I love it up there.
A little piece of advice: get on that Wim Hof breathing before you go out there, so the altitude doesn't take a giant shit on you.
I'm gonna do an ice bath.
Yeah. Mile High City. When I've been out in New Mexico, up in Los Alamos, it's about 7,500 feet, and definitely the first day and a half, it's a little bit thin out there.
Dude, Marcatna's in Japan. Which part of Japan are you at? You out there in Tokyo, or are you in Osaka? Or have you ever, if you're a skater, have you ever heard of Mikasa, the old ancient skate ground? We love Japan. I've never been there. It's my number one spot I want to go to.
It'd be a great spot to go. Also, Marcatna should be scouting for us out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at this Japanese influx. Like, get out there to the games. Tell us who's who. Let the Giants know. Maybe we can get a bit of the, you know, that sweet Japanese talent coming our way.
All right. Give me a timeout. I'll be back in 1 minute. Got
it. All right. Who else is on here? Man, I'm psyched to see all these people. Marcat, you're in Tokyo. How is that? I hope you didn't suffer during that earthquake. We were watching that over here when that happened back in, I think it was 2013. Oh, terrible. Oh man, let's see what we got here. I'm psyched that we get some Dodgers fans in here. They might have all left, but it's fun when you guys are here. Talk up the Giants some. Yeah. What do we need to know? How can we talk the Giants up? We can be excited. Lots of young talent. I think that's the biggest thing to be excited about. We got all these kids, and it's kind of like it's a resurgence of bringing young players up. And, a couple of experienced veterans in the lineup. I think this is going to be a good one. I really think it is. I'm curious what you guys' takes are on the young players, the guys like Grant McCray, the young pitchers. Even Matos is still pretty young. So what do we got? What do you guys think? Schmitty's on a bathroom break, it appears. Either that or he's making espresso. Let's see. Taro Sasaki is indeed from... Oh, there it is. There it is. The Yomiuri Giants. Hey, Val, did they actually sign this guy?
The first ever exchange.
Two-way player from Japan? Thought I read something about that, but
they did.
They actually signed him. Okay. Interesting.
Dude, the A's are making moves.
Yeah. I'm not sold on two-way players, nor am I sold on switch hitters. I kind of feel like that two-way player thing is very, very, it's like the unicorn if you can find one, right? I mean, Ohtani is kind of the exception to the rule, but who else is there really who's been like that?
Ohtani's not even the exception to the rule. Look at him. He's like sitting on the bench the whole World Series. The whole World Series, he did not play one out of defense. That's your best player in baseball? I don't know. Stats weren't that good, boys. And you know what my friend Salva says, right?
Fuck the Dodgers.
That's right, kids. Take that from Screaming Lord.
Yeah. I mean, it's just such a rare thing. Now, I think what we ought to do, I think we ought to start a pool and a wager on how long it's going to take for Ohtani to turn into just a decrepit pile, and he's still got all those years on his contract in LA. What are we talking? 5 years, 4 years?
What's he got? 12?
I think it was 12 years. Yeah.
Has any pitcher ever in the history of the game had a 12-year contract? Like Nolan Ryan, Steve Carlton,
By
Sandy Koufax.
only by virtue of extension, guys have stayed with the team that
Right.
long, you know. And
Yeah.
long gone are the days of like, you know, Zimmerman in the Nationals. He started his career and he ended his career with the same team, and he never went anywhere else. Right. So I mean, those days are done. Those days are done. Guys are looking to, you know, do enough good work with a team on a short deal that then they can try to find those long-term deals. And I think we're going to start seeing the end of the long-term deal even come around pretty soon, because it looks like Boris and these other agents are pushing for shorter terms, opt-outs, you know, maximum money for shortest amount of time, that kind of thing. Like, you know, the Trey Turner, the Bryce Harper type deals, even the Ohtani type deal, that may be coming to an end, you know.
You think so? I think we might have the first ever $1 billion man.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that can't happen. I just
okay.
think that the trend is towards, I mean, look at the talent that's available out there now. It's not like any of those guys, you know, and for the foreseeable future, I don't think, you know, anybody's going to come up who's going to be on that level, you know.
Well, that's probably what's happening, right? Like, I mean, Pete Alonso apparently is not, you know, but like Bregman, that's an interesting one because I mean, Bregman's, it surprised me last year too, like Snell and Montgomery and Chapman, some of those guys. And I just think it's Boris is trying to squeeze every ounce instead of just like, okay, we could do this. He's like, we could do a little bit better. Let's hold out. And that's my number one priority for baseball. I keep saying it every week, but it's let's have the window of opportunity smaller. So free agency is like after the World Series, whatever, 2 weeks after, whenever it normally begins, the winter meetings, let's say, and it's like 1 month and then it's done. So it's just like bang, bang, bang. It's a pinball machine. Every day you wake up, you got alerts and it's fun and exciting. And this guy, and then there's not all this time to haggle too and make all these like crazy, like, well, if he goes back and if he's living by his wife and he's got 3 kids and all that crap, it's like, no, this is baseball. Let's just get out there and play. Sign them where they are signed.
Yeah, it's just going back to the Alex Bregman thing for a second. I mean, he's 30 years old, okay, and he's been in a slight decline. Still fantastic baseball player, right?
Gold Glove.
You would have thought, you know, where are we? Tomorrow's the 20th of January, and Bregman's not signed. That's a little strange, you know.
Very strange.
And it's you would think, and you would have thought Alonso would have been signed a long time ago.
I think in the MLB's top 10 third baseman for this year, Bregman is ranked 3rd or 4th, I believe. It's kind of crazy. He's above Chapman and a few like pretty good players, and to not be signed, that's really. Now here's the question though. Does he have the Christian Cooper angel, the hex of like, you were an angel, bro, or an Astro, bro? Sorry. Like,
Could be.
Do you think him being on the Astros is going into this equation?
I only think from a perception standpoint in a fan base. Like, look at me. I'm like, I don't want any fucking Astros that were part of that cheating scandal. Whether or not that cheating scandal had as big an impact as some people say it did, the big thing for me about the cheating scandal wasn't so much the winning or losing of games. It was the fact that it really hurt the careers of a lot of major league pitchers, right? Like whether it was real or not real, the fact that these guys were just creaming these pitchers because they were, cheating. I mean, a lot of these guys, their numbers took a hit, right? And I think that's shitty because you're not necessarily adversely affecting standings and winning or losing. You're affecting individual players with that, right?
Right.
So I think that's my thing on the Astro guys.
I mean, at some point, Alonso probably gets pissed and wants to fire him. Montgomery fired him last year. At some point, I'm thinking if I'm unemployed, maybe I want to be an agent, and I see this little cloud over this dude. Maybe it's an opportunity to come in and then that could be another rule. Like, I hate rules, but maybe we need to make rules because these guys are being so abusive. But like, maybe you can only be an agent of so many players.
Yeah.
Like, do we love monopoly in life? Like, do we love Comcast taking every goddamn channel and saying, we're going to charge you this? That's kind of what Boris is doing. He's taking all the best players and then he's in control like a puppet. Like, oh, we won't negotiate this guy's contract until I deal with this one. And that will bring up the value so this guy makes more money.
Right.
I mean, he's totally doing that.
Right. And the players want to be represented by him because he's the guy that plays hardball with the ownership of these teams. You know,
we could witness the longest lockout in the history of MLB once the CBA expires. If we, if something doesn't, like, this is really going bad. I think
Yeah.
in the past, when we've had strikes, I wasn't in tune with the problems nearly as much as I am right now.
Yeah. So when does the CBA expire? Is it this year or next year?
I think.
Okay.
I think there's two. There's this year and then one more.
Here's my spin on that whole thing is that baseball cannot afford another labor dispute. It cannot afford it. The first one was a bad look. The second one was really a bad look. You know, when you got people showing up the ballpark throwing dollar bills on the field, you got a real problem. You know, and they come back from the strike and the fans are just like, you know, think about what it costs to go to a game. You know, think about what it costs to pay for this new TV deal where you got to pay, what did you say, $170 a month just to have that?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be up north this week and I got to check my mom's DirecTV and make sure that they're actually
DirecTV is different. So if you have that, so I'm pigeonholed a little bit because they don't offer that where I am, but I just got YouTube TV and I saved $100 a month. Wow. And I get all the channels.
Okay.
So, and you can stream it on your phone and, like, you know, YouTube, you got it wherever you are. You don't have to, like, I don't know. I haven't gone on an airplane yet, but I'm guessing that if they have Wi-Fi, I can watch TV.
Yeah. Yeah. Just as long as you don't get slapped with some hidden data charges for streaming so much shit, right? Suddenly they're going to be like, oh, well, you streamed 18,000 terabytes of Giants baseball. You have to pay us an extra $100.
Yeah, $50 more a month. That's, yeah, exactly. George knows. If you're in the Bay Area, you pretty much know. I think it was an article in the San Francisco Chronicle today, actually. Like, it's definitely catching fire. They're talking about how it could affect the Giants' viewers. What I wonder, I mean, there's so many angles for this, right? But could it be a ploy to get more people to go to the game?
Yeah. It could be a push for that. I mean, the thing down here with the Dodgers and Spectrum is that they signed this exclusive deal, and it's one step shy of what the Yankees have in New York, where they have their own Yankees entertainment system, the Yes Network, where they own it all, right? Mm-hmm. And then they license out Yes Network to various cable companies for a fee. And then your cable company, if you're out here, you want to watch all the Yankees games, pay up, sucker, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to address the CBA thing real quick. There aren't necessarily problems with the CBA. It's just that it expires every so often and has to be renegotiated. So you've got the MLB Players Association, and you got the league, and you got the ownership groups, and they all come in and haggle. And generally, when problems arise, it used to be early on, the whole reason for the CBA was players were essentially like indentured servants to teams. Once they signed contracts, they couldn't get free agency. They couldn't get unconditional releases to go sign with other teams. It was really kind of a shitty way of doing it. And once that all changed, then they all agreed into this this deal where they would every so often sort of look at the terms and how things worked with salaries and all that. And then, the players would get a little bit better deal for their hard work. And so it's going to come up again. And, the agents and the players union are going to be arguing for more money and less limitation. And the owners are going to be arguing for less money and more limitation. And it's the eternal battle in baseball, right? So,
well, we got the reserve clause. Boom. Yeah, I mean, it's coming. 100%, right?
Yeah.
Like the it's coming, and I think what you said is spot on. Like if there's a holdout, if the first one wasn't a good look, the second one was definitely not a good look. Baseball's on the we need to get back to where we once belonged, like Paul McCartney. It's like they need that, and they don't need like somebody holding out over like $500,000 or whatever it is when they're making 700 million. It's just like times are tough. People are having a hard time affording going to games, having a hard time affording cable. Times are really tough for like the majority of people out there. Nobody wants to hear about a guy that plays baseball complaining over like a few cents and dollars in perspective of their world. Yeah, it's $500,000, which is a lot of money, but it's not that much to somebody who's making 700 million, right? So it's just like slow your roll. Let's get the game back. The game is more important than any individual. That's why it's a team sport.
Yep. And I think, ever since COVID, the economy generally has been pretty shitty. And so, you got a family, let's say you got 2 kids and you want to go spend a day at the park, and you want to, by the time you pay for the tickets and you pay for the parking and you pay for the food and you pay for the drinks and you pay for, God knows what else is souvenirs. The kids want a cap, they want a bat, they want a ball, whatever it is. You're talking about, in excess of $1,000 easy for a family of 4 to go to a game with halfway decent seats, not even great seats. So to hear these, near billionaires complain that they're not making enough money, it's going to really salt things a lot, and I just don't think baseball can afford it. I mean, they're constantly trying to figure out ways. How do we put more butts in the seats? We change all the rules. We make it more exciting. No, the game is exciting as is. You guys need to figure out how to make people want to come without adding all these bells and whistles and drone shows and every other stupid thing they want to do. Right. Like if I hear about one more drone show, I'm going to vomit on myself. I'm not interested. Okay. I don't care that it's 50-cent night. Bring back half price beer night. You want to put butts in the seats? That's a good way to do it.
I mean, that's a whole other topic, but the Giants did just announce a bunch of their giveaways, probably because FanFest and stuff. And man, they just can't. Their marketing. Okay, listen, after everything I've said tonight, all my optimism and all my let's defend the Giants, one area where I'm not going to defend them is their goddamn marketing. This whole thing about what's their slogan again?
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
There's nothing like it.
There's nothing like it except for the previous 2 years where it was nothing like it, right? 1, 2, and this is the 3rd year. But look, they announced their giveaways. They got a Steph Curry bobblehead. They got a Barry Bonds bobblehead. And then they got some other thing that's not related to like the current team as like 3 of their 4 main things that they're giving away. It was kind of like, dude.
Crossovers and Are they still giving away the ugly Hawaiian shirts?
I hope so, because I got like 6 of them. and they're all in my closet and have never been worn. Not one. Well, actually, I went to Hawaii and I brought one time and I didn't like the way it fit.
Yeah. I'm curious, like how soon we can find out what every single promo is for this season,
Pretty much now, I think. I think I don't know if it's on their website, but I think they were announcing it at FanFest in Napa. This Saturday will be San Jose. And if you want to come out and meet me, I'll be there, kids. Glenn probably won't be because Bernice will go for him to get those cards signed, but I go to get my own card signed. That's right.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. I thought you were going to go to the Napa one too, but you couldn't pull it, huh?
Dude, have you heard of the norovirus? I think it came from Toronto.
The Toronto virus.
I got really sick, man. I was mad though because Chapman, Harrison, Hicks, and Eric Miller were up there. It would have been cool. Me, I'm a card collector, so I tend to bring little binders for. Yeah, the old man likes to get the kids to sign still. I don't know. It's my guilty pleasure.
It's cool, man. You're down there almost every single day getting it done. So
hey, hold on. Let's go to the books.
How many cards do you have right now? What would you say?
How many Giants cards? Just
how many
alone?
cards? Period.
Oh, geez, I have no idea.
Thousands upon thousands. Yeah.
Let's talk about which current Giant would you like to see?
Give us Jung-Hoo Lee, because I know you got a lot of those. I know you got a lot of those. Page 1. Page 2. Yes. Page 3. Damn. Page 4. Jeez. Keep going. We're going to have to do a whole show about, wow, man, holographic everything.
Oh yeah. This one's pretty sweet with the ghosts.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. And then I'll show you these ones back here are cool too. These ones are like little inserts that you get in there.
Nice.
Oh, Robert says I was the guy that got the ball signed by Lee when you got him in SF. Yeah.
Sweet.
Wait, are you friends with Patty? Robert? Are you out there a lot? Have I seen you a lot? Because there's a couple people that kind of don't really have names for, but I recognize you by your face.
So yeah, we got to do a show. I got to get the promo list and see all the stuff they're going to be giving away this year, so we can just maybe do some comedy relief. Because I some of the stuff that they've given away even in the past, like, I mean, I got the Jeremy Fish hoodie on skate day, and that's actually pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's the other one. They're giving away a Jung-Hoo Lee jersey that has a hood. That looks like it might be kind of cool.
Okay.
Like a little, for us cold night people.
Yeah. Like I don't have a lot of that stuff. I mean, I have a Metallica shirt. I'm stoked on that. Okay. But some of the bootleg merch outside the stadium is actually cooler than the stuff they're giving away inside the stadium. Am I right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was bummed because it's been several years now, but my dad bought me a Sons of Bochy t-shirt outside the stadium. It was like a Sons of
Boch,
because I worked on all the Sons of Anarchy licensing art at 20th Century Fox, right? So my dad saw this guy selling these Sons of Bochy shirts that were based off the Sons of Anarchy art. He boxed it up, he mailed it to me, and it never got here because our post office is like the worst post office on the face of the earth, and it just never showed up. But
wow.
My point is, like, yeah, some of the stuff that they give away, like, I mean, look, I have the Hunter Pence bobblehead, the catch. That's the only one I got, and it's cool. But some of these other bobbleheads they do, I don't know.
I got a whole storage locker full of bobbleheads, and I have to. Yeah, I got a problem. My mom was an antique collector, and I turned into a baseball collector. I got a lot of stuff and nowhere to put them. And I just want more, and I don't get it. It's like an obsessive compulsive situation. I think my addiction to drugs and alcohol that I finally put aside 10 or 11 years back turned into a sports addiction. So, there you have it. And I love coffee, by the way.
Okay, what do we got? Eric, you got to explain this a little
Wait, I
bit.
think this might be Glenn.
Oh, is it?
If it's Glenn, there's no chance. I'm not
Oh,
even.
look, yeah, see, it is Glenn.
I don't even. I'm not even in the same city as Glenn as far as card collecting. The shit he told me, holy shit, man. He
Oh,
came over
worse
to my
than
house
you?
one night, knocks on the door, and he tells me about like his eBay account and how he goes to Toronto for like the off season, and the cards show up here in San Francisco, and Bernice just puts them all in the bathtub because there's so many of them. So when he finally comes back, he's just got all these cards in the bathtub to open. It's amazing. This guy is, I can't wait to have him on the show because
Yeah, we got
he's
to make
just,
that happen.
I mean, everyone knows Eric and Glenn's show and the energy and just, oh man, I love the comedy and the passion. And I want to hear hockey stories. I want to hear about him talking to Patrick Waugh at the bar at like 1 a.m. or
Yeah,
something,
I want to know how he feels about the United States becoming the most dominant hockey nation, not Canada. Well, actually, Eastern Europe is probably even more dominant. But in terms of the NHL, the Americans wipe the floor with the Canadians. Am I right?
Could I
Pretty
mean
much.
I
Pretty
think
much.
I think Glenn's a Sharks fan though. I think he's into the Sharks, and the Sharks are apparently. I'm starting to try to follow them a little bit more. They got some youth on the team, and they could be like the future could look really bright for these
They
guys.
they need to win a cup, man. I mean,
Ah,
I would be so happy if the Sharks won a cup because I used to go to all their games at the Cow Palace, man.
mm,
So I mean, I've always pulled for the Sharks. They made it to the Stanley Cup against Vegas and just got fried.
I wish they would have hockey at the Cow Palace again. It's the real hockey. I mean, that is just like God. That's the best.
Cow Palace is epic. The day they tear that place down, it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be sad. Hey, it just dawned on me. Remember, I was talking earlier about how I'm like becoming a little bit more of an optimist about the Giants, and I've had this more sort of positive angle. I know why now. Glenn.
Me.
No, Glenn.
Oh.
Because I can't touch that. Oh man, the salt is like it's like the Salt Mountain in Redwood City.
Oh. Ooh, Lynx go. Yeah, you know what's gonna happen, don't you? And okay. Warning, Glenn and Eric, if you're still out there, and not talking shit at all. We love you
No, of
first and
course not.
foremost. But this is what I'm waiting for to happen because all these shows are on YouTube, so you can go back to them and watch them, right? When the Giants come out of the gates 30-2 and these two guys start just loving life, we're gonna have to go back and say, but what about in like Christmas when we were really upset with the team?
Yeah. You know, it could it. I don't know. I got to look at the schedule. I got to see who they play right out of the gate. But we could be looking at actually a winning record for the start. And
I'm not afraid of Arizona or San Diego. I'm not
at all. And definitely Colorado is not anything to be worried about. And then you got some other weak sauce teams and some other divisions. And it's really about handling business. Yeah, the DNA Lounge for sure.
Yeah, I've seen some good ones there.
It's just simply a matter of getting the job done. You got to clobber the weak teams. You got to the teams that are on par with you. You got to find a way to beat them 2 out of 3 in a series, and the good teams just got to hold on. Get those road wins. Really important. Win series. That's what they got to do.
Exactly. And there's enough teams like the Brewers, the White Sox, the Cubs, almost everybody really, they have an opportunity to win a series against.
Yep.
And I'm saying they're going to go into the Dodger series with a lot of energy to try to knock them off. When you're the top team, as every team knows that's ever won a championship, you're the biggest target the next year. Mm-hmm. People want to knock you off. And with what the Dodgers have done on top of being the champions, every team is going to be gunning for them with all, nobody's going to hold back, and so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, and keep in mind that I think we've talked a little bit about this before, but the media always generally discounts the Giants, especially the big national media like MLB Network. I mean, they didn't give the Giants a snowball's chance in hell in 2010 and 2012. Nobody saw it coming except us. We knew it was coming. We knew the Giants were good, Now, I'm not saying this team is necessarily World Series caliber, but I'm not going to discount them. I'm not going to throw them on the junk heap with the Marlins, with the White Sox, even with the Tigers, who were kind of surprisingly sneaky good at the end. Like, I can't put them all the way down there. I think the Giants are actually going to be pretty good. And with this whole Padres shakeup, gives them, another division foe that they can clean up on a little bit. So, yeah, man, it's just...
And, I've been saying from the get-go, there's been a lot of talk about how the Giants were going to get Soto. I said they're not going to get Soto from the get-go. Then there was a talk about they're going to get Sasaki. I said from the get-go, they're not going to get Sasaki. So part of the frustration for the fans is putting these ideas that aren't going to happen into their head in a way that they think have to happen. Right. And you go, well, what about Adames? Nobody even thought about the best shortstop available coming to our team. We thought we were getting Ha-Seong Kim, and we were trying to figure out how to accept that. We didn't know if we were in or not. And then all of a sudden, boom, we got the best shortstop available. That is a huge move for this team. Left side, taken care of. Don't sleep on Bailey. With Buster Posey in the situation now, I think there's going to be a lot of mentoring. I think this guy is working on conditioning, and he's not going to fizzle out. I think a lot of these guys, I even think Hicks is going to have a stronger year this year than he did last year, just because of understanding that this is a different thing. And so you have to condition yourself. Harrison too. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a lot of players that have better years and have more stamina this year than last. These guys are young. They don't know 100% what they're doing. And don't underestimate the value of a guy like Justin Verlander, a guy like Buster Posey in your organization as a mentor. These are huge pieces that not every team gets to happen, right? And we saw the Padres, when they had too many prima donnas, they didn't do too well.
Nope.
So chemistry is a big deal too. And Adames going down to the Dominican to welcome the new player with Encarnacion and Camilo Doval, class act, man. Brand new to the team, and he's down there like, let's go, hyped to bring you up. These are things that, like, you can't, that's not necessarily something everybody's going to do.
Yeah, definitely.
And one last thing, because Val brought this up. This is where I was going as far as optimism with the Giants. I do believe that the Giants are not done. My prediction right now is that Wilmer, Wade, or Yaz, one of those three, will not be on the Giants opening day, and the Giants will make at least one move before opening day from now, whether it's getting a new pitcher, whether it's getting Ha-Seong Kim, whether it's signing Alonso, whether it's a trade. Something will happen to make this team a little bit better. And let's wait and see. Let's not say it's Pete Alonso or bust. And if they don't get Pete Alonso, I'm going to cry for 6 months. It's like, no, let's just wait to see who's on the 40-man when the season starts. That's the goal here, guys.
Yeah, definitely. And just, I know we want to wrap this up pretty soon, but I wanted to touch on a couple things. And Vita for Life was in here talking about, not being able to win a series about the Dodgers. Well, we're really not talking about the Giants needing to keep pace with the Dodgers, because it's kind of a fool's errand at this point. The best you can do is play them as well as you can, but you got to clean up on other teams. You got to make your record based on playing the teams, number one, that you should and have to beat. You got to take care of that business. And then the teams that are closer to your caliber, you got to find a way to tip the scales and win those series against them. Fuck the Dodgers. I mean, like, the Giants could get swept by the Dodgers all year, and I'm not worried about it. What I'm worried about is the overall record. What I'm worried about is the Giants, like, who was it on here? Somebody was talking about the product on the field. To me, after the last couple of years, that's as important as a good winning record, is seeing good baseball on the field, right? So
Babe knows. Yeah, I mean, here's like, if you want to bring up stats, and I don't know if, did you bring up that little thing earlier?
on their salaries? No, we can do that right now.
Okay, because before we, okay, yeah, go ahead.
So these are the big spenders next year, the top four. And you look at the amount of money they're spending, but more importantly, look at the tax space that they have. The Dodgers are more than 130 million over the tax line. Okay. This is the second year over the tax line. If they go over the tax line next year, they will be paying 50% in luxury tax. Just ask yourself what 50% of $274 million is. Ouch.
And
ouch.
I hate to say it, I don't know if this is political or not, but when half of your community just got wiped out in fire, is that where you want to be putting your money if you're a rich person down there? Just in tax?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me, though. I would say this too, as far as getting back to the Dodger Giants thing. If you go back to 2000 and go the last 24 years, the Giants have won more World Series than any other team.
That's right.
Straight up. So in this year, 2000, and the Dodgers have won the National League West almost every year.
Mm-hmm.
But how many World Series have they won? How many times have they blown it? How many times have they lost? How many times has Dave Roberts been talked about being fired? How many times has Kershaw's jersey been burned? How many times have they booed Puig till he left the team? How many times? So don't ever think it's a sure thing. Baseball's 162 games, and that's the beauty of the game. We got to see what happens, and that's why we're fans.
Yeah. And just to kind of stamp it in stone here, the Dodgers have won precisely 1.5 World Series since 1988. Not two, 1.5.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, you can talk about all you want about the future and what we're going to do, but until you do anything, you haven't done shit. And that's straight up. 88 till now, you've won 1.5 World Series. I'd be fucking spending every money I had too, right? Like, but it's not helping you.
Yep.
Hasn't helped yet. Maybe it will. We'll see.
Yeah. So as far as the Giants are concerned, this is my sort of wish list about the Giants.
Glenn's a huge Wilbur fan. Sorry.
Yeah. 2025 winning record. 2026 serious run at the wild card. By 2027, start creeping up into being a divisional contender. Okay, the 3-year plan, right? That's how I see it. You can't. It's got to be. I don't want to call it baby steps, but this is a process, And I think that's the takeaway if you're a Giants fan and you're out there going, "Fuck, like this just isn't good." I mean, this offseason just isn't good. I would give this offseason a decent grade, not a top grade, but yeah, we're looking at a turnaround that takes time. And when you build a turnaround like that, you need to do it in a smart, sensible way. You don't just hurry like, oh, we're desperate to get to the playoffs, so we're just going to go spend more money than God. And, we're going to sign guys that it's a big flashy name, but, the longevity of this player might not be good. No, You know, got to do it a little bit slower, but do it so that it's built to succeed. So 3-4 years from now, we're thinking like, damn, the Giants are good, and I'm happy about it. Right? That's my optimism. That's my thing. That's where my pessimism is shrinking.
And I also believe that first anything is acclimation period. You know, it's like your first year in the pros, you're getting used to being a pro, you're getting used to the big city, whatever it is. Posey's in a new position. It's his first year. I think he's probably a little timid, right? He probably is scared to make a trade that could be a huge impact for his first impression in this new position. But after a year and feeling a little more comfortable, maybe things happen a little more so. But maybe it's all in the plan. Maybe he's doing exactly what he wants to do. We don't know. But I'll tell you this, I would never think that I'm smarter than Buster Posey and or Will Clark or anybody else that's like helping in on some of these decisions.
Yep. And we got to give Buster a little time. You know, we can't judge him by one off season. We definitely can't. It's just, that's not fair, you know? And I get it. Like, we're all pissed that we had to put up with Farhan for 6 years of pretty much total incompetence most of the time, and decimating the farm system as well. So let's give it a little time. Let's see what happens. And like we kind of started the show out, like, I'm excited for spring training to get started.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And as far as the pitching staff goes, I'll say this. I think you weren't here when I said it earlier, but I'll say this. I'm betting Verlander pitches more than Ohtani. I'm betting Birdsong is better at the end of the year than Sasaki. I bet Webb throws more innings than anybody on the Dodgers. And I bet that Glasnow gets hurt before the All-Star game. Okay. Yamamoto, it's a coin flip. He could be hurt. He could bounce back. He could have sophomore jinx. I don't know. But the Giants are going to be a little different this year because they have Adames, and that pushes everybody one notch back in the lineup. And I hope that brings in some runs. And if the Giants score 4 more runs, they will win a lot of games. Yep. That's the easy arithmetic to all of this. And if you say, yeah, but no, that's just it.
Yep, definitely. So I'm not saying we won't be good for 3 years. What I'm saying is I think it's a 3-year plan in terms of getting to the point where they're a contender, they're a true competitor. I don't think it's realistic to think that we could do it in 1 year. I would love it if they did it, but I just don't think that's realistic. So am I good with it? It is what it is, right? We are where we're at. And I think that being behind the 8 ball, Farhan, you know, we should shit on Farhan a little. And we just got to go with what they can do. I would love for Charles Johnson to open the checkbook up and spend a lot more money, but hey, it is what it is.
It's time to shit on Farhan. For any of you fuckers out there that are doubting Buster Posey because what he's got to deal with, understand one thing and one thing only. Farhan created this mess, and Buster's going to get us out.
That's
so
right.
Take that, all you negative Nancy's and doomsayers. Giants baseball, nothing like it. Part 3.
Yep. There it is.
There it is, baby. We did it, and 20 minutes to spare because we got nothing but love and respect for the Eric and Glenn show. We like to call it G&E in our text session, but they'll be taking the mics at 8 o'clock. And Glenn, I don't know if you're still out there, but any of you guys that are paying attention, Christian and I have been throwing this around, and I think it's a great idea if it could work out. Imagine if all the baseball talk shows kind of got together and kind of formed a timeline of programs. So it's like 8 to 9, 9 to 10, and nobody's stepping on anybody's toes. And it's just a constant feed of like a lot of people talking about baseball, because I'll tell you one place that's not doing that, and that's KMBR. So I think we have a real opportunity as baseball fans to take the bull by the horns and create a really cool atmosphere on YouTube with all the different channels talking about baseball, because we're all fans at the end. Whether you love that team or this team, you love baseball. That's why you're here, right? So let's keep it going. I want to be hype, man. I don't want to be Debbie Downer. I don't want to add to all the problems in my life. Like, baseball is the one area where I just want to feel good. I want to just go outside and read the paper and go, they got this kid that's 16 years old. He might be good in 5 years. That's kind of some optimism. Let's see. I don't want every day to be the reoccurring, like, God, my life sucks. The Giants suck. Fuck this. Blah, blah, blah. Like, no, man. We have to enjoy the things we love.
Yep. And I just want to close it out with this for the skateboarders out there. I went to the Vans pool party yesterday, the last one that's ever going to happen because the combi pool is getting bulldozed. It was a great contest, a great way to end it. Christian Hosoi took down the Masters. It was incredible. Really nice tribute to Jeff Grosso, and Bucky Lassick live streamed a good portion of the contest, and I believe that the streams are still up on his website at buckyad.com. So if you want to catch some highlights and see a little bit of that it's the end of an era, and it really was pretty a fitting send-off for the bowl, for everybody that skated it. The kids were great, the girls were great, the whole thing was a blast, and I just feel really grateful that I was there and got to take it in. Like, I only missed 2 throughout all those years, and it was a great experience skateboarding wise. So yeah, check that out if you get a chance. I think he's still got that stuff hosted up there. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and Grayson Fletcher is a goddamn animal.
Maniac.
He had war paint on his face. He skated all day and then just jumping off 11 feet to flat over and over and over, and then did something that's never been done to end it and just send everyone home fired up. That's skateboarding, and that's why I have this energy for baseball. You see how that is? Skaters on baseball. Yep. There you go. And Senior, I work at Thrasher, but Christian's done tons of work through Thrasher and through Deluxe and other skate avenues. He's more graphic based, so he does like the bottoms of a lot of boards, probably things you've seen out in the wild, and he does all the rad graphics too for us as well. So we're all in house, just trying to have fun.
Yep. And I guess we're industry insiders, but we can't really talk about a lot of the insider info. At least I can't. It just gets too crazy. But yeah.
Same.
So hey, thanks everybody for showing up tonight. It's rad. We got a lot of little crossover, some viewers and contributors from Glenn and Eric's channel. It's cool to see everybody, and probably see you over there in just a little bit.
Yeah, so that's Giant Sports Talk Live, Glenn and Eric. It was started at 8 p.m. Glenn, if you're still out there, I need somebody to cut a promo for me because my voice just doesn't do it. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. Tomorrow's a holiday for most of us, and don't get caught up in that political madness. Just enjoy life as much as you can. It's all we can do at this point, right?
Yep. The best thing tomorrow would be don't watch TV, go out, ride a skateboard, go out, play some ball with kids in the park. Hey, whatever.
Yeah.
Anything but that.
Peace out, everybody.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Skaters on Baseball. If you liked what you heard, please spread the word, give us a good review, or hell, blow us up on your social media if you're down. Follow us at Skates on Base on Instagram for baseball news and other fun stuff. We love comments and listener participation, so bring it with an audio clip or an email. You can email us at skatersonbase@gmail.com. We're everywhere you get your podcasts, and we'll be here all season long.
Let's go, San Francisco. Let's go, Giants.
I'm excited to give everything that I have for these next 6 seasons and, see where it takes us.
Adios, Pelota!
See you soon. Thank you.
And I am forever a Giant.
Dude, I like that outro.